Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and this video is going to be the last one of the series heading into 12.1 Warlock feedback with Mr. LOOZY and Mr. XERWO today. It's a bit of a longer one, like hour and a half, but it was really good. Super in-depth, talks Destro stuff, goes a decent bit in like Demo AF as well, and also talks, I think, like 15 minutes at the Race World first. Just like random RWF stuff between like LOOZY and XERWO being, on their own Race World first adventures, and myself with Liquid. It was a good time. Really fun. Yap. Should be some timestamps below. It jumps around a little bit, but it's mostly like Clash 3 Destro, RWF, then like a little bit Destro, Demo AF, and then they're sad. But good video. Shout out to them. I'll have their links down below in the description. If you guys want to grab them, be sure to check them out, follow them, give them some support because they took time out of their day to be here. And yeah, see you guys soon. Cheers.
So I go by LOOZY online. I write the Destruction Warlock guide on Wowhead, and I currently raid in the guild Advance on EU. I've been playing in a couple high-ranked EU guilds ever since 2014. So I've been in the WoW game for quite a while, and I've been maintaining the Destruction Warlock guide ever since I believe it was 2016. So it's actually my 10th year.
Old.
This year,
Jeez.
which is crazy. Yeah.
A veteran.
Old. I'm definitely a veteran, yeah. Which feels
like
weird.
Cool. Mr. XERWO, hello as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for also hopping in
hello.
Today.
I'm XERWO, the German warlock, from back in the day. I was also play since like let's see, since when did I play warlock actually? I think it was Cataclysm. I wrote it as an alt. Ever since then I fell in love with the class basically. Before I was a healer paladin, hands up. But yeah, Officer, Raider, and Echo since the inception basically. Before that in Method, before that in Let's Say for Face, some German guild. I don't know if people know that one. But I've been hardcore raiding since like 14 years at this point. So
dude, I actually just realized
I this way myself.
This is the oldest people, the group to go in any of these videos. Like I'm 35.
Dude, like no Zoomer is rolling Warlock anymore. Like it's legit just old people, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in it for a while if playing Warlock now.
Yeah, I meant like us three age-wise. Like I'm 35, y'all are probably like, but I mean, yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, all Warlock players are old.
I'm not even 30 yet, man. Like,
what?
You're not 30?
No, I'm not 30. I'm 29.
I'm not revealing my age actually.
That's fair.
So good.
But yeah, I mean, it's super chill. This is the last one to go in the series. We did AF and Demo already, but it's like Destro based. We have a section for Demo and AF at the end too, if y'all want to yap about it. It's a big deal. We've been like briefly just starting off in the clash tree. Both of y'all feel free to interject or hop in and talk whenever. If you got nothing to talk about in that section, totally cool too. We're starting off with the clash tree like in the last two videos briefly, which I mean, at least to me, the clash tree feels like it's like fine-ish for the most part. You sort of get what you want, but there are some nodes, at least like I thought, were a little bit subpar. I don't know if you guys had thoughts on the clash tree or want to start there either, but
like compared to the past or just in general right now? Or
I think like in general. I mean, yeah, like in general now compared to like last expansion, I think it's way better. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, there's very like they cut back on throughput nodes a little bit, right? There's still some left, but like the haste one or intellect increase, right? But I remember in the previous expansion there was like how many points? Like 8 points you had to allocate for throughput or something. So that's very refreshing right now. But yeah, I think it's true that like you have choices, you can get what you want, but the choices are like very minuscule compared to maybe other classes. Like we don't have like we have this double gate thing now, but what if the double gate thing would affect the whole raid or something? That would be a cool choice, right?
That'd be sick, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if it feels like there's just some meaning missing somewhere. But overall,
I think it's definitely it feels less like set in stone than it was before. It felt like you had to really look to try and see if you could like free up a point before, and now I feel like you can opt out of a few things quite painlessly, whether that's the cooldown on your pet summon, or you opt out of a little bit of the leech and drain utility and pick up some Curse of Tongues utility instead. And I think you definitely have more floating points now you can play around with, also allowing you to pick up. I really like the frequent traveler thing. I think that is a super cool idea. I can also see the issue with it being that if you manage to mess up the timing on it, you can actually like extend and refresh your gateway cooldown on something by misclick. There's like a potential for a misplay there that wouldn't happen otherwise, but I like the idea of the talent. I feel like that's a cool approach to taking one of the the cooler things that Warlock brings to a raid and then building on it. I definitely think.
Yeah,
And I
agree.
also
And
I really like the Blight of Weakness and Blight of Tongues as well. I think a lot of people got, at least for us, a lot of people got kind of shocked by the power of Blight of Tongues when we were doing like big M0 pulls. And you go, why is this so free in this group to do this Alcathar Academy pull? And you go, oh yeah, it's because you have a Warlock and we just do this one thing really, really well every 2 minutes. I think that's a really cool talent.
it fits the same with Blight of Weakness, right? Because in like pulls where the tank just gets crushed by melee attacks, or even like on Lura last phase, for example, like we had like hard assigned Blight of Weakness, for example, to just essentially be a tank cooldown, because
that's cool.
100%
I didn't know that.
increased swing timer, right, is kind of big, and like tanks were struggling a little bit with living and all that stuff. So that one felt really big. And the Frequent Traveler was like bugged until I don't know a couple of weeks ago, right? That if you took like a different Warlock's gateway, it would instantly consume both charges, basically. Thankfully, that's fixed, so we can finally take other gateways.
That's fair.
Was a bit annoying on Alaria. Only one Warlock could place the gateway for the precise positioning with the tethers or whatever. But that's gone, so that's big.
That's cool. I think for the most part, I feel about the same, give or take. Both conversations I brought up, like health funnel being removed. I don't know if you guys care much about that. Arson brought up like making it a choice node between like beneficiary, drain life, healing your pet more versus like in combat, out of combat health funnel stuff. I don't know if you guys have any input on it. I want health funnel back personally, but I mean, I don't know if you guys really care. It doesn't matter a whole lot, but like, I don't know why it went away.
It's just nice to be able to heal it while not hitting anything, right? Like,
that's like the only scenario in which I see that being even then it's like, when do I opt for a health funnel? When do I just do like a plain resummon of the pet? Like
That's
how much time do I actually want to...
Like in combat, it's a big upgrade, right? To have Drain Life doing it because you heal your pet and you heal yourself, and before you hit your pet and damage yourself. So basically, it's a upgrade in combat, but out of combat, it feels a bit awkward, of course. That's true.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
Like, I mean, I understand that they put them together to prune vulnerability, I guess, but I guess this was the lesser of the two evils.
That's fair.
It's actually a completely different thing, but I'm just like browsing over it, and there's a talent that I feel like hasn't really gotten like a lot of praise, maybe, but I think it's like maybe the biggest quality of life, and that's the foul mouth talent. Is just so good. Like being able to curse a pack, an entire thing, just saving globals.
Oh yeah.
I think that is just, oh my god, that's so good.
I've been asking for this talent for years.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Like, I swear to God, like every time ever since Legion and Plus, I was dreading when I see like multiple caster mobs in a group, and I'm like, okay, other people are setting up their damage. I go tap tongues. You
have to go 5 times or whatever. Every single one.
And then I can do my damage, and now I just press it once. It's perfect. Like,
I feel like it's low key, like not underrated, but I don't think people value it as much as they should in M+. I feel like there's a bit of like a skill, like ceiling, or a higher skill ceiling than it, like what's the word? Appears, I guess, in a sense. There's packs where I'll weave like tongues earlier than like weakness later on, or whatever. Like, be able to just weave them as well is super sick. Like in the past, it's just tongues. Weakness. It feels terrible. Yeah, it feels way better now. I agree. Yeah. I agree. So
I mean, as destruction, we play mostly Hellcaller, I guess. So we have Satyr, which does both, right? So
yeah.
I mean, that one is huge. But I think ever since we got the, I don't really even recall where it was, but whenever you unending resolve, it would apply curses to all the mobs around you. And at that point, you think, okay, this whole AoE curse thing, on like a big pull where I don't even want to commit my unending resolve, but I feel like I'm just safe, I'm not gonna die. I'll just slam it for the sake of the curses, and that's not a super intuitive way of using your super big cooldown. So I actually think that is just such a huge quality of life change that's just packed into a teeny tiny talent that you don't really have to go out of your way to pick up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree.
for sure.
W curse of tongues.
I think the only time I actually picked the unending resolve AoE curse or whatever in raiding was Galawix, if I remember correctly, for the Mythic Galawix for the interrupts, because you could
Yeah.
curse them before they appear, kinda with that, like all of them. Otherwise, you could only improve curse one and solo curse the second one, and this way you hit one more, I guess. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, the
But that was
fucking
like
amplified
I think,
curse. Yeah.
yeah,
Where
amplify
was
curse
that?
actually being gone. I mean,
Oh,
I kind of miss
I
it, to be
hate
honest,
it.
a little
No, I
bit.
hated amplified curse.
No, I do miss it, but I mean, it is there with Blight of Tongues, technically, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
our
No, it is. It is.
amplify.
But it was also for me, it was because I played Warlock with Ariat in FSY, and he's like the super utility thinking. Like he always had this thing going, and it made me feel so guilty that I was just CBA playing with this thing. I'm just gonna, if anything, I'll like macro it in, and every once in a while I'll have a big curse, or I'll like specifically make a macro for rare occasions where I'll actually use the amplify curse. Otherwise, I'll just go with a regular curse. So I think I much prefer having it in the blight form rather than having the
I agree,
the
yeah.
extra button.
Cool.
I mean, also imagine how OP would be foul of mouth right now if you had amplify curse there, right? Like
Yeah,
AoE 70% cast reduction, or even slow, or whatever it is in that case. Yeah.
I mean, that is just your blight, right? With a big cooldown, short duration.
I hope they don't remove this talent, guys. Like, if they remove it again, I will be so sad. I will be.
I think it's a great addition to yeah, especially because if we think back, I think in one of the capstone levels there was like Soul Conduit, and you felt like, oh, it's kind of boring, but you feel obligated to take it because it is a damage output talent essentially, and just not having it and having something that, I mean, in many talent setups you don't even pick them up, right? But then if you're in a situation like Lura where we did the same thing, you know, tanks get absolutely demolished in the last phase, it does so much damage, and you're split up, so you're like scrambling for cooldowns and scrambling for ways to make your tank live. And if you're able to fill in a gap with a Warlock talent there, that's like a crazy value pick as well, I think.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I think people are not like on the train yet, yeah, that it's actually this powerful for that scenario as well.
I didn't really even hear it being used at all in Lura. I mean, I'm sure it's probably has been in the past. I didn't kill Lura this tier or anything. I didn't raid this tier past week too, but like, yeah, well, I mean, I gotta find a guild. I mean,
it's time.
Wait, what did he say? I thought he's making fun of me. I'm your elder, and I can't make fun of me.
We're in full support, bro. I'm cheering for you.
Oh well, I appreciate that. You know, now, I need to find a guild, but I'm not doing 7 days a week or whatever it was. Put it that way. I'm not raiding an Echo. So 2 weeks for me was enough. But I agree. Like big dub, blight and curses AoE curses and stuff. In the demo video, the one thing I said was like, please don't remove blights or foul mouth at the end of the class 3 section, please. I love it. I don't want to go away. I agree. So I'm glad you guys are passionate about it too. Yeah, I mean, so Destro spec tree stuff. I mean, do you guys have anything else we hit on class tree? Is spec tree good for you guys? Destro. I mean, this is Destro video. We can hit on Aff and demo later on too, though.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think from doing like a good amount of testing and keys and rates and whatever on the beta, I think destruction was just at a very weird space for a very long time when it came to picking up talents, because it felt like you came from a setup in War Within where it was very dominant playing Diabolist, and you, regardless of anything, you'd want to just pick up, you know, the Diabolist single target. Just go with the Chaos Bolt. Don't even think about Rain of Fire.
Machine gun build.
Yeah, just literally machine gun build. And then you log on to the beta and you see the Apex talent setup, which just in every mathematical way favors the machine gun build and just empowers the machine gun build as well, because it's gone through many tweaks, but initially it was so skewed heavily in favor of Chaos Bolting, just with the amount of shards and the amount of damage and the scaling and everything. It felt so weird that you just go from one version and now you get another source of power. So it's not rooted in the set bonus and the setup of that. But it just feels like, okay, destruction is never gonna press Rain of Fire ever, basically. You're just a machine gun build. You go Mayhem, Havoc, and then later on they change Improve Havoc to further empower the Mayhem thing, and it was like a weird thing. And then on top of that, you look at the capstones, which typically and by design, you look at, you want to progress down, and the further you go down, halfway through you pick up your super cool Infernal, and you can empower that as a CDR thing on it. But then you just don't want to pick up any capstone ever for a long time. We don't even want to pick up a capstone. And we're giving feedback and thinking, we really want something interesting, something cool on these capstones. And I feel like looking back at some Shadowlands level stuff, or maybe those after Shadowlands, where we get the whole Sepulture set bonus version in a talent with something to play around, and I think that was just a really, really cool thing as well. But the destruction tree just felt so lackluster for a very, very long time, and that's probably why we also got some tweaks in this recent patch right now here.
I mean, do you guys think it's like a step back compared to War Within, like based on capstones and stuff, or is it just a different like side version of Destro that sort of hasn't been panned out yet?
I feel like it's a step back, yeah. Sadly. Like especially in raiding, you are right now forced to take like AoE talents to pass to Conflagration of Chaos, right? And like Diabolic Embers and stuff. You have to pick up Destructive Rapidity, I think it's called, right?
In a handful of builds, yeah.
Yeah, to be able to fit in the Inferno node, the 30-second less cooldown, which perfectly synergizes with one of the best trinkets in the game right now, basically, Vego. And that feels just very bad. I think in M+, it's technically improved, right? Like, because you can play Diabolus without AoE talents, and then you can play Hellcaller with a lot of AoE talents. So I think in M+, it's an upgrade, but rating a little downgrade for sure.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I had seen some of the rapidity, like pathing conflagration builds popping up, and I thought to myself, like, why don't we just like move embers and rapidity and make it like embers into like then rapidity and ire? It almost flows better in like this is your AoE row kind of scenario. Yeah. It feels like it's just sort of out of place, like that in conjunction with like devastation and ruin being 2 points each, and having like the lesser avatar destruction when you used to have like Soulfire with devastation and then avatar with like ritual. To me, it feels like it's a step back. And CDF's over here doing, I don't know what it's doing without the like.
Yeah, it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing.
Just we have three rows.
It moved from the middle of the row to the capstone, and it didn't even get changed. Like it got combined into 2 nodes instead of 3, right? And it still does the same thing, I think. But it's just there existing. Nobody's picking it, I think.
Yep. So. Yeah, and I feel like Dimensional Rift's a talent they could build upon like a crazy amount too. Like I feel like, I think it was like Dragonflight. They had like a whole section of the tree.
I actually have it open here, even that I wrote like an article way back then, like a retrospective on Dragonflight, because in the final season of Dragonflight, I don't know if you remember, but I think that's even when like MDI level had to introduce the rule you can't just class stack 3 Destruction Warlocks, and you can't, because Destruction Dimensional Rift was so overtuned for the way it worked, and which is actually funny because when we initially did the testing for that and we did the feedback for that part, it kind of looked like maybe you weren't even gonna pick up the Dimensional Rift talent in Mythic Plus. And then going from that into it being a cleaving thing, absolutely taking over the entire Mythic Plus damage. It was super crazy. But now it feels so weird that you have to pick between Soulfire and Dimensional Rift without even having, in my opinion, I wouldn't mind Soulfire as much if I could have the quick cast version of Soulfire as well. The Decimation, exactly. And I think that's one of the things where I remember the most people playing like old Warlocks going, oh, why is my Soulfire lighting up now? And they go, oh, try and press it. And it's all of a sudden it goes from being this super slow, super long cast that almost feels like a bit of a chore to figure out, okay, it generates a lot of shots. I need to be low on shots, but I also need to fit it in here. How do I really go about this? And then you just slam it and you just go. And that was so much better, in my opinion. And although the cast isn't quite as long now as it was previously, it doesn't feel like the overfiend you summon from it really is significant enough for it to then dignify having to go through a big annoying cast like that. I think a lot of people didn't even. I know I didn't on a lot of raid testing back then. We didn't even pick up the talent Avatar of Destruction down there because it did absolutely no damage at that point. It doesn't do crazy damage now either.
Yeah.
But it is very clear that the super left part of the tree is all single target based, and this is where you wanna, especially like the bottom part of it with Soulfire. And then if you go on the further right, you go kind of onto the Ire. Super heavy AoE, and it's like, how do you want to deposit all your stuff over there? Do you want to go on the right? Where do you want to put everything? And then you have to sometimes go through just to spend the points as well to get to some of the like Conflagration of Chaos and Diabolic Emperors, which is something you really want. You have to then pick up Destructive Rapidity, which just feels super boring.
Right. Fair.
It's a classic incident, right? That the tree suffers a lot from having the hard choice between single targets or AoE. You can see that with a demo, for example. Like demo can just do single target and AoE in the same spec almost, right? Like it's hardly a couple % different single target to go like full AoE. I don't know how much exactly, but like it's not like as crazy as Destruction, because if you go full AoE route, Hellcaller, full AoE Destruction, you do like no single target. You get like double gapped in single target fights or something in M+, for example. But then you excel in AoE a lot. But usually like good M+ specs do both, right? So
but it feels like Demonology even does all of those things better as well, just design-wise as well.
Sure.
Well,
Demonology, you have like tuning knobs as well, so you can decide what dog do I want to go for. Do I want to like where do I want to favor? And then it took quite a while for us to figure out, do we want to go power, power siphon, or do we want to pick
or
up,
implosion?
Implosion. And then you go, implosion is kind of just like an RNG damaging power siphon instead. And it feels like there's just a lot more choice in that. You can drop out of an imp and pick up the Dreadcleave, and you have a lot of little tuning things where it feels like in Destruction a lot more is like locked down, where you need to get down and pick up Inferno. That's like a big one. You need to go and pick up Diabolic Emperors, and you also have to go through Improved Chaos Bolt for sure. And at that point, you're just spreading a bunch of points all over, and then you go, okay, so I actually have a lot of this locked down already,
right.
And now I need to figure out where do I want to do. Do I feel like I can commit talent points in going Havoc? Is there ever a situation where you play Destruction and you don't pick up Havoc and improve Havoc, or Mayhem and improve Havoc? And it just feels like Demonology does a lot of those things design-wise better, at least.
It almost feels like to me they could just prune like half the Destro capstones, or at least like, I mean, why can't Improved Chaos Bolt be like passive, like baseline? Why can't Chaos Incarnate be baseline? Why can't we have like Ruination or Devastation be one talent point or be baseline? Like I'm committing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 points. And nobody got that. It's fine. But you're committing it all to like passive effects. Even like Embers, you can just sort of bake in to be baseline. Like I feel like, I mean, we're sort of jumping around here, but like I don't. Destro's been like in a similar spot like this for a long time. I don't really mind Destro. I feel like when Destro's like, at least in raid encounters, when it's like good for a tier, it's one of the best specs for progression based encounters. It's all sort of relative, I guess, but like if Destro's profile fits that fight really well, it's really good. Like back to like Raden, like back in Nilotha and stuff, or other fights, for example. But I feel like it's been in a very similar form for a long time, and it makes me wonder, like, is it worth just like coming in and like hardcore just changing Destro, maybe like keeping Chaos Bolt, or even just changing up your spenders to make it like a completely different spec in a sense, hardcore overhaul the capstones? I feel like you just could do that, like make a Rift Row. I mean, they went in and fully overhauled Destro, I think on like the Chinese servers a month ago or so, like on a classic realm. It looks super sick. Like, I don't know if it's a bad thing because it fits the game well, but I think back to like Shard Main's playstyle in like Hellfire Citadel, where it was like just massive shard spam, AoE Chaos Bolts through Fire and Brimstone that was toggleable. That's cool. You know what I mean? I don't It's a bit
I mean,
stale to
I
me.
think I think it can use a thing where it felt like Jot Remains was like a super nice, fresh breath of air. Where I think anyone that has played Mist of Pandaria Classic now is being reminded of how big a portion of your actual rotation is just put into incinerating. And then being able to pick
Yeah.
up Jot Remains feels like someone just sat down and thought, what's the fun part of this spec? What would just be really fun, and how do we make that, and how do we just later balance around that? And it also came with a bunch of, I feel like it was probably a bunch of extra work, because I remember one of the set bonuses, I think that was the Blackrock Foundry set bonus, where you could have a proc and then your Chaos Bolt would multi-strike, and then that landed on top of the design where you could toggle with Shard Remains, you could toggle and you could AoE Chaos Bolt onto everything. And the gameplay felt so fun and so fast-paced and so interesting. And I think that's probably one of or some of a lot of people's favorite iteration of Destruction. That was a very, very fun thing. So I think maybe that mentality could also go into how do you take Destruction from being a spec that people right now look at, and it was very, very recently with all the testing and dungeons and everything, and people go, okay, we're very close to midnight now. Can we please have an Affliction tier? Can we please just not have a Destruction tier? Like, demo's fun. Demo might be an okay tier, but not a Destruction tier. Please, an Affliction tier. Worst case, like a demo tier. And I don't even recall the last like proper good Affliction tier at this point. Like the first thing that springs to mind is like Castle Nathria, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Which feels like an eternity ago. I can't place if there was a good one since. But I just think
it was okay in Aberus technically, but demo was too strong back then as well.
Demo was just disproportionate with the class trinket. Yeah.
The portal.
That was a huge one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I think a lot of people, or a lot of design people, really feel like Destruction is just a comfortable spec to put in on a progression thing, and you have an extra resource where a lot of your damages, or at least was tied up into an extra resource you can pool around, and then you can use that flexibility to then solve an issue on a fight. If you need like a priority damage on something, or if something happens last minute the week before the spec goes live, and all of a sudden Mayhem now lasts twice as long and deals increased damage, and it's the most horrible thing in the world to play with.
It jumps around.
Boss, where it jumps around, you're canceling your cast, and it feels like you're fighting against your own character at that point, and it's I don't think anybody really enjoys it. It's good damage, but it's maybe not the most entertaining gameplay, at least.
That's fair.
Yeah, I remember this very well, because exactly they changed Mayhem, or I think 100% uptime or whatever, even higher than 100% uptime technically, because it bugged out itself at some point, right? And in the same time, they nerfed back AoE a lot, like they nerfed back in soul damage a lot. And then I got asked by my guild, like, what does this mean? How much less damage are you going to do, for example, on Paladins? I'm like, guys, I think got buffed, because this Mayhem stuff is crazy if it works properly.
So
if it's bug
the Mayhem thing is so much bigger than the Black and Soul thing at that point. Yeah, I remember, because we talked about the same thing, right? And I sat there on the little clumped up target dummies in Silver Moon, and I'm just like looking at my nameplates, and it's just Havocs popping up all over the place. I'm like, there's no way this thing is gonna go live, right? Like, this feels so weird. But we're also kind of scared. Like, do we want to try and grab a hold of someone and go, oh, maybe we should fix this, because it's just super strong if it does go live, right? Like, I don't want to be the party pooper either.
I went into the comms. I said, guys, my Mayhem is bugging out. Please fix it. Yeah, I didn't mention it was OP or anything. I was like, guys, this is bugged. I cannot play this talent. Please fix the talent. And I was okay.
Yeah,
love
gameplay-wise, that just takes it took out so much of the fun of playing Destruction on like a cleave thing, because I think on Soul Hunters, Destruction was actually really fun to play, because it was a lot of the same thing, and people were expecting Affliction because it's like a 3-target fight and a bunch of stuff, and then Affliction had a little incident where it was almost good.
Dude,
but then an old set bonus made it extra good, and then you go, oh, no, we gotta fix the whole spec as a whole. It was nothing to do with the set bonus, the big AoE unstable Affliction, 20% damage on everything. So now Affliction is just fucked. Like, there's just no coming back from that shit. And now Destruction is just really, really good on this and just plays really well. without having your mayhem go onto your target after 5 seconds every single time.
Just to iterate on the mana purge affliction nerf, I lost my mind actually. Because nerfing by public perception, okay, I mean, I guess, yeah, they have to do it, but like, nobody has a set bonus. We told them the old set bonus is gonna be OP, right? And then
it was literally because of the old set bonus and
just deactivate
it. Every fight just fit so well with this thing, and you just had so much damage. It was crazy strong. But we also all knew that as soon as we were going to get the set bonus, it's going to outscale, everybody else is going to catch up, and then Affliction is just disproportionately strong for a very short amount of time right here. It's not that the spec is crazy. I don't even remember if they did anything to the spec going into the tier. It was just way stronger than it needed to be there, and then it ended
they
up...
buffed Poco's Malignancy, for example, I think.
UA big buffs. Yeah, UA got buffed like massively, so it's
UA got
tier
buffed
set.
big time, and then Dark Layer applied UA to everything, right? And then it proc the UA on everything as well.
Oh, you could proc it, yeah. I mean, so parses of people on Soul Hunters that just had 70, 80, maybe even more % uptime on all targets on UA, and
anything with a second target was just ludicrous. Crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I think a lot of Affliction Warlocks had a lot of fun in splits during that, because I remember I played 4 Warlocks in our splits, and I think I might have topped on like every split on some alt I did, just because Affliction was just so strong.
I played a couple as well, I think. I remember.
It was a good time,
not
man.
everyone goes 45 characters, 45 splits, 2 full-time jobs.
Well, next tier, obviously.
Going next tier, of course.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Well, that's between y'all, and well, you and them. I don't know. I just work here, but
I heard some people talk about some stuff saying that let's not do that again, because at some point something bad is gonna happen, and
yeah, it's not good for mental. That's for sure.
It's not good for mental, for physical, for anything.
Yeah, I mean, last race, not to get super sidetracked here, but like last race, man, I feel like mental was good, and then when they hit secret phase, like, which we didn't really even expect, and I mean, we expected it and we didn't, because it never happened. Like, we knew it was there. We had seen the re-origination cast in like data mining, but then we didn't see it till the end. And I remember we saw it, and like the despair that went over the whole facility. And like the rest of that night, wanting to, I mean, it was literally reverse Savanas. It was so good. And then like
we were in disbelief as well. Trust me.
I mean, like it was a grueling ass fight, and then like seeing the next day, like needing to kill it and then not killing it, like that whole day was like just complete despair. It was like. It was going to be a kill day.
2 wild days for anyone on the high end of rating. Anyone that has anything to do with like the high end of rating. It was just confusingly. I can't even describe it. Like it feels stupid, right? But it's one of those things where it's like I remember exactly what I was doing when they went into that phase.
Oh yeah.
I was on, I was just on TS talking to some bros, and then I go, oh yeah, I'll put the stream on my phone and I'll go downstairs and I'll like make a sandwich or something. And on the one pull, I've been playing, watching whatever for hours, and on the one pull, this happens, and I can like hear through my headphones people are going, oh, what the fuck, it's fucking casting, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I need to run upstairs again, and I can it was this whole thing, and I think that was just so that was interesting.
Yeah, it was something. It's like this. The whole day is like a lingering feeling of dread, because like both guilds can kill it. It's the same thing on Dementia, same thing on Fire Rack, where we lost on Fire Rack. It's just like, and when you're sitting on the couch casting it, you see like chat go Echo Phase 4, Echo Phase 4. Or I'm sure it's probably the other way around too, where it's like if it's saying Liquid Phase 4 to the Echo cast, it's like, man, your heart's beating, but you can't look over and stop talking. But the day it died, like the day we came in, and maybe it's the same for you guys, Zero, I'm not sure. The day it actually died, we came in and it was like, oh, all the feelings of dread are gone. It's just like, if it's dead, it's dead.
Yeah,
and it was like,
this has to be it. Like, I feel like a lot of people went through so many feelings on that time, because we have a lot of, or we had in FSY, we have a lot of people who play in Liquid and play in Echo, who are still a part of the social atmosphere in FSY as well. So it's kind of fun having that Discord be like a mutual place where people can, they talk about, oh, what did you have for food today, and this and that, and then they go, oh yeah, you guys gotta go to bed now, and I'll not go to bed ever, and it's kind of fun being on the whole sideline of watching that.
It
But
is.
it did feel like at some point it's like, if this just dies now and we can be done, because at that point the gaming had been going on for like 2 months. It felt like, because you perma level, you perma M0, you perma raid, you perma raid, you perma raid, perma raid. It was and
Yeah, it was
I
gas
think
no stop basically.
for a lot
all
of
the time.
people it was like, we don't do as many characters, of course, but we also put in, maybe we focus a little bit more on improving the level of our characters, then where you kind of just have to have a lot of characters be viable enough so that you can go bring them into raid and gear them up and all that. And we need to make our characters as good as we can within our play time. So we did the same thing, right? We spent a lot of time, and then for a guild like us, who was very, very close to killing the boss, and then it gets nerfed. And it gets
Yeah,
nerfed.
that's
So it gets nerfed so hard. We go in, we kill it on
yes.
2 pulls. 2 pulls with a healer being on the phone because he's working tech support and he's helping an old man install like a VCR or something. And our 21st man raid leader had to go work on an offsite thing, so he's on his phone in his car just listening. So we just go in on 2 pulls, kill the boss without a raid leader. And we're just, that's the end. Like, that's the end to that tier. And
That's
is
very bad.
so decimating. Like,
That's-
I couldn't even get out of my chair for hours at that point. It was so upsetting, so decimating. And I don't know.
I think how you felt then was how we felt in Voidspire, basically. Yeah, like we worked all these months basically prepping these characters, and then this raid dies in 2 days or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we were like, what
was
the
it
fuck
like
is going
40
on?
40 plus
What
30
the-
40 pulls on Illyria? We're expecting like, okay, this is at least gonna be like carrying into the next week, or I don't know.
It was a
Big
tier.
sidetrack here, guys.
it was a tier, man.
Slow excursion.
Wait, what?
No, I said slow excursion to the rating, instead of
Oh.
drifting apart already.
Yeah.
We'll flex this to be a destruction and rating thing.
No, I mean it's fair. I don't mind that. I feel like the sentiment was echoed, I think, across, pun not intended there, but I think like the feeling of like dread and despair was probably the same across both guilds, and it was like, honest man, when the boss dies, we go home. Whatever. Like, it is what it is. So yeah, well, cool. I appreciate the insight there. I guess back at Destro.
Started giving a little bit of the jailer.
Yeah,
like, very long tier, very many hours, a lot of effort put in, and then it actually becomes very heavy, very challenging.
It was funny. Like, I'm not going to rant again on this, but like the poll that it died on, we got a ping in Discord saying, "Can you guys stay 3 more days to cast? We're just checking and moving flights right now." And then like a minute later, it was like, "Oh, never mind. Actually, it's fine." Like,
please don't make us.
Because please. It's such a volatile fight, right? Like, you can be like, as we did then, 0.45% like close or whatever, and then wipe for the next 6 hours, or at like whatever phase, basically. It
was really one of the fights where, and we talked about this a lot, right? Because that's like a very big thing in the level of guilds where we play, where it's, it comes down to like 4 guilds or 4 or 5 guilds. There are a lot of contenders, and time zones and everything also plays in there. But it's definitely like the fight that's been the most. It doesn't matter that we extend. Maybe we extend, we kill it in 1 pull. Maybe we extend and we fuck up the day after because we just want to go for 2 hours now, and people are going to be tired, and we have jobs, and we're not going to, like, it made no sense to do crazy extends unless it was because you were like, okay, we're doing the world first kill right now. This is exactly what we need to go for. And that was a very, very mentally challenging part of it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fair. I concur. I wasn't even playing, but I was sitting there watching. So
interesting P1.
I mean, hey, you're actually working. We're doing the hobby, Like
we're sure. Right. I think we're all working.
Does it feel like a hobby when you're on your 47th split character and you're
like, to be honest with you, I could do even more. Like, I love this. Yeah. Like, I'm down. But I feel for other people. Like, other people don't like it that much. But I just if I could raid 24/7, I would raid 24/7. Like, if I don't need to eat and not drink and just raid, I would just raid. That's how I feel. But
I love that.
Yeah, other people don't. So
that's getting sent to max.
My enthusiasm, Break them.
Someone's clipping that and sending it to Max. I'm watching a reaction video of this tomorrow. I guarantee it. But
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair. For what it's worth, I think it was a pretty fun tier to watch. Like with the last two bosses being cranked up, obviously. But hopefully, I mean, next tier we'll see where it goes and where it lands. But not as much disparity in difficulty between
Yeah, just some
6,
cooler
7, and 8.
curve, would be appreciated.
Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully not 3 raids again. But I don't think it's happening again. So
Actually, side note, having so many separate raids and not like being on the same ID is actually a nightmare for my splits planning, because I'm always doing the splits and farms and assigning people, and then I'm like, okay, you go in this group and this raid,
That's
and then
fair.
you swap the group. Please just one raid next time.
One raid. I mean, I think it's probably maybe like a 1 boss raid and then a 9 boss or 8 boss raid's okay. Yeah, like
Yeah,
with the 1-5-2, like
What about a 1 boss raid and a 6 boss
6-2.
raid and a 2 boss raid and then another 1 boss raid that comes out like a
just take back the
3
cataclysm at this
months
point.
later?
Yeah, I'm actually very happy that they made those items not random static, guys. Like, you can't even.
I saw that
I
change this
cannot
week.
fathom that they did that.
I don't know how bonus
before it
rolls
was like
work there.
we killed the guy on Mythic a couple of times to see how the stats worked, and it looked like it was like ID bound before. Basically, you would get into ID and a druid that only crit master can drop this ID, basically, like in your character ID, and then the next character would only get haste verse items. Like we killed him like 4 or 5 times, and that was like the pattern. So I guess they thought maybe it's a little bit weird to waste then items because haste verse not desired for some classes or whatever. I don't know. Now there's no verse at all, so that's also a little bit sus, but
You not want to be in the best mastery split?
Yeah.
I'll pass on that one.
Please no. I craft my items with a little bit of verse if I need to, yeah.
Exactly.
I can skip.
I'll give you a gem or 2. That's about all you get out of me.
Exactly, yeah. That's the best I can do.
That's actually really insightful. That's cool. I appreciate that. I had no idea. Okay, I mean, I guess like Destro stuff. It's not, a whole lot else left. I was gonna ask about Shadowburn stuff. Think about the new version of it with like Shadowburn. What do you guys feel about it with it interacting with the hero talent, being an execute in a sense, with the proc from Fiendish Cruelty and stuff? Just in general, better or worse than old Shadowburn? With Conflagration, Chaos changes, all the above, yeah.
I'm very glad that they decided to do something about Shadowburn before the later stages of the development for Midnight, at least, because for a long time it suffered under the same curse that Reign of Fire did, which was it wasn't properly balanced in terms of how much Echo of Sagaros proc damage would you get from a Shadowburn, and at that time it felt like, okay, maybe we're just not even picking up Shadowburn, or maybe there are so many talents we want to avoid now. Maybe we just pick up Shadowburn to then get the Fiendish Cruelty proc instead, and then that would also feel kind of weird. So I think that's definitely a good thing that it's very clear that they want Shadow Place to have a place in the Destruction spec, because I think it's also one of the more iconic spells. Goes like way far back. TBC Shadowburn, I think, was a thing as well, and so I definitely like that. I like this more than I liked the uncapped Shadowburn, because I think this kind of, or when I mean uncapped, in terms of like HP is only usable below 20%, because before it was also a thing where if it opens up for the chance that maybe Shadowburn is just always the answer, and then where does Castbolt fit into that? So will the priority list then be you always need Shadowburn? If you don't have stacks, then you can Castbolt. And that just adds an extra layer of we need to balance around this. And then when you add in extra factors, being echoes of Neilum, the Apex talents, or maybe there's something with stacks on Wither generation, and you actually net more from a Shadowburn cast on the run. I think it's really cool to have 80% HP wise go to Shadow or to Castbolt, and then when you're on the last 20%, it kind of speeds up the pace of the spec a little bit, and you're in the execute, and I think that's just a really fun way to play the spec as well. And it also opens up for, a little bit extra skill gap where maybe if you're a player that has, great awareness and you're ready to snipe some match, you can actually end up getting a little bit of extra damage out of your Shadowburn there. But then you can't just instantly slam a Shadowburn on an ad and then go, oh, it'll die within 5-8 seconds, whatever.
Right.
And then you'll get the shot back. You actually need to be aware. You need to be ready for that one. So I personally like this design a lot more than the one we had right before, and I'm glad that they. It feels like the devs definitely want a Shadowburn to have a place within the destruction rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
I tend to agree. I think the only things I liked more before is that, of course, you had more options to move around when you could press Shadowburn above 20% or whatever, right? That was very nice, and we fully lost that. And the only thing we got was some more conflict rate stuff, maybe, or even. I'm not sure,
Right.
actually. The loss of movement is noticeable for sure, especially with like the decimation being gone as well. So you have to stand grounded longer and stuff.
Much more stationary.
But yeah, exactly. But I think I like it more as well overall. The other only complaint I guess I have is Crash and Chaos, as always. Like, why is it only working with Chaos Bolt, not Shadowburn as well, right?
I was gonna ask that.
It's a bit weird because you press Infernal and execute, you see the stacks, you're like, oh man, my Chaos Bolt is trucking, but I press Shadowburn anyway, so the stacks are just wasted. And Crash and Chaos is so good that above 20%, it's just so much better than Reign of Chaos right now. So it feels like very bad
super
unintuitive.
Execute. Yeah, like a big overlook on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. I agree. Cool.
Yeah,
I feel the same way,
only
honestly.
complaint, I'd say.
I think that's one of the questions I've got like a lot as well from people, either like picking up destruction, they have like a little thing. They go, oh yeah, but now what if I have improved Chaos Bolt and I have Crashing Chaos up? Surely at that point, my Chaos Bolt is going to be enough value because I have these 2 extra things that buff it. Surely this means that within this window of the 9 stacks or 8 stacks or whatever of the Chaos Bolt is going to be the go-to, and they go, oh, man, it's not just a Shadowburn. Like it doesn't really make sense. I think that even just having it consume and maybe not scale up as much, or like
a lesser
anything
buff
like that, definitely feels like it's an overview. And I'm not saying put improved Chaos Bolt to also that's not at all, but it's just that at that point you kind of have 2 things that are exclusively Chaos Bolt oriented, and even then it doesn't even open up for a Chaos Bolt. So I think that's definitely true. It feels very wrong for a lot of people, and you go, no, just Shadowburn. Don't think too much about it.
That's fair.
Feels like a bad answer, but
no, I agree. It's been like a non-bow for a while, like a non-combo. It's been sort of weird. I agree. I've been mentioning it for a while, so I'm glad it's not just me thinking that. I mean, I guess, is there anything you really want to hit on hero talent wise? I mean, like there was the Through the Fellvine buffs to Hellcaller like this patch last minute, which made Chaos Bolts crank with Malevolence being active and stuff. I feel like they're sort of similar. They're different but similar. I guess closer as far as like bolt damage is concerned compared to where they were in the past, with like Diabolus being the big bolt spec and like Hellcaller being more Wither based. But like the Fellvine changes, obviously it has like Wither and Black and Soul versus like Demons and Ruination and all that. But like, is there enough disparity between the two, or is it just like they're both like fine still? Or any thoughts on them? If there's no thoughts at all, we can skip over it. I think they're just sort of fine-ish. But
I think in raiding, not so much. In M+ a lot, I think, because you pick Hellcaller for the mass AoE, right? And you still play Diabolus in the highest keys for the priority, while also cleaving with your demons. So I think that's fine. And in raiding, I mean, right now you're mainly playing Hellcaller, I guess, on the fights you play Destruction on. But I feel like in raiding it's missing a bit, like the difference between the two.
Yeah,
personally.
okay.
Yeah, I think when
Also,
go on.
No,
LOOZY, go.
Okay, when I think about picking either or with these, I think Undermine, because I think Undermine was a point where it felt like Diabolist was probably the better of the two on like strict single target, and then it just ended up being Hellcaller almost even overtook it there. But having Diabolist have the space to be, this is if you're like a strict single target, you can actually pick up Diabolist and then you can play Destruction, but you can play the single target. You don't need to opt for Demonology for this. And then you pick up Hellcaller, and all of a sudden, you're this cleave machine, and you can do spread cleave, which is what Destruction has just been, really able to cash out on. Is a lot of classes, they think, oh, cleave, we need stuff stacked, because then my ignite can cleave, or my aim shot can cleave, or like all these things. And as Destruction, you go, oh, this is actually my specialty here, because I can opt in for Havoc, and I can go this exact thing, and then I can be in here, one thing over there, but I'm still doing crazy damage on both of them. And with Blackened Soul, I think that was just, it felt super rewarding to be aware of your surroundings and play that well. It did maybe end up being that the set bonus for Hellcaller was slightly too strong compared to Diabolist, and I think I think when the cleave setup, and it's like a strict cleave setup with cleave talents, ends up outperforming on like a single target fight with movement, so like a Sprocket Monger, if you wanted to play Destruction, you still play Hellcaller on that. I think, and I still think this today, I think Diabolist might be the coolest hero talent setup of like any of the hero talent options in the game. I think Diabolist is such a good idea. It is so cool to play. And I think a lot of people really
You can swear, it's fine. I heard that queuing up. You can swear.
No, but I think a lot of people really experience this when you go into this. You think, okay, what spec are we playing here for Warlocks? We're playing Demonology. Okay, what setup are we playing? Oh, we're playing Soul Harvester. It's kind of, you like really strip it down to the bare bones of what the spec is, right? You essentially have 3 buttons. You do your dogs, your generator or generators, and then your spender, and that's kind of it. But then you add they nerfed it around, and then we go, oh, okay, now it opens up the door for Diabolist, and it adds so much more depth to it. And I don't know how you went about preparing this server, but I know when we were like prepping for Lura, we don't have as much gear, and you go, okay, but actually we can, with Diabolist, we can actually time our stuff a little bit better, and then we can make sure to have a ruination on the second one by delaying the mother proc until after the beams, and then you cycle through on like a very specific timer there. And I think that is such a cool layer of depth to a very simple spec in its nature, where it's a thing where if you really want to, you can super optimize this and you can play really, really well with it. Like the skill ceiling is potentially very high. But it's also a thing where if you don't want to worry about it, you just want to, slam and go, just do it. That's fine. It's not going to really matter in terms of, do you kill the boss, do you not? Because at that time, when people who don't want to bother with it, they're probably got more gear, and that's not an issue for them. But I think Diabolist, with all its little ways it ties into the spec, is just super cool. I want to play more Diabolist, and I hope that we get to play more Destruction Diabolist as well, because it feels like just go Destruction, you gotta go Hellcaller, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah, I agree. I very much agree with Diabolist. It's like, I tried to think back, any end boss I played Diabolist on, I think it was Queen Ansarek.
Ansarek is the only one that I know, at least.
I played Dimensius Diabolist demo, I guess. And like you could, like now Lura as well, a Diabolist demo. And how you could optimize the demons with properly delaying stuff for like AoE and or like the intricacies of that is very fun. And it's also like a whole another prep layer to like boss timing and like cooldown timing. How delayed do ads spawn? Like for example, on Lura, when you kick late, the crystals spawn late, so you have to actually micromanage your spendage a little bit, maybe even overcap for a global, right? Like send another Shadow Word at 5 shards or whatever to like properly being able to AoE the ads to make sure they die, because that was actually a very big concern in the beginning. To have like a proper balance between single target and burst AoE throughout the fight for phase 1 to actually make it consistent. And Diabolist is like the perfect like niche solver, basically. for that type of thing, because you can actually almost get like a double demon spawn for a lot of the crystal spawns and then just destroy those. And that is very fun that you have the option to do this, right?
You use like a very specific Hand of Gul'dan type, or maybe you delay your dogs a little bit and then you use the dogs to then trigger a little bit. And I think it adds an extra layer of like depth to it as well, because you can then time it out and you say, okay, so at this time here, I'm gonna be on this demon with this much time back or left, and then I want to proc the art there, but then I know I need to shuffle really, really fast for the next one, because I then need to shuffle through 2 demonic arts to then have the ruination ready for these ads as well. And that also means that now I really need to optimize my shots. I need to be, super on top of my soul shot management. I need to have demonic core stacks ready for that. And I think that's just when you're kind of playing the fight. And now I've played a lot of elemental shaman over here for the last few weeks, because we just needed an extra shaman. I'm just sending it, I'm just slamming it, and it's so interesting, the very like the huge gap of what's going on in the raid. And I think the level of play I need to play my Diabolist Demolock on there while carrying the seed, because I'm tanking and I have that movement. And then I'm just on my shaman and I'm just like, oh, I need to delay my Stormkeeper for 10 seconds. That's it. And I'm just super Omega topping the DPS on that one, and it's a fresh character. I think that's what makes Diabolist such an interesting spec or interesting hero talent setup to play. So I would always want to sway in favor of that, and I just think Demonology plays super well with it as well.
Cool.
I think the way it ties into with Hand of Gul'dan being replaced with Ruination, and it feels super well, and it feels like you can really double down on getting a super good Tyrant if you line it up well, and you have one demonic art ready and you're on 5 stacks and you're floating into the next one, and then all of a sudden you get really fast Hand of Gul'dans going, and you can actually go for like the 9th or the 10th Hand of Gul'dan, where if you didn't optimize it, maybe you would have gotten 1 or even 2 fewer Hand of Gul'dans on that. I think that's an awesome way to play.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, yeah, that's a good explanation. There's definitely a skill ceiling, I think, with like the intricacies of Diabolist that you don't see on a decent bit of classes, whether you're a seed carrier or not. I agree, which is cool. I mean, honestly, go ahead, Zero. No, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, like, for example, thinking back on Dimensions, you would at the end of phase 1, for example, you would proc your the 60-second pre-buff of your Ruination, basically, your pit load, and then you go into the flying phase, you land, and you don't consume it until like all the ads are gripped in or the stuff, and then you throw this meteor bomb, you do like 140 million damage, and it just feels so crazy, like it's so rewarding to do this. And I just wanted to say that, like, it was I couldn't do this with any other hero talent. It feels like so,
no, I agree. I got yelled at once or twice for killing the ads too fast, or killing the ad too fast. I think it might have been second wave when Ruination was like desync. But like, yeah, exactly what I mean to do. I got a big meteor cube. Let's go. I got a big fucking meteor here. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Always announcing the 2 seconds, well, guys, I'm gonna land a banger here.
Don't pop for these. Don't pop for these.
I got it, guys. Natty line up.
Yeah. I love that. I love it. I mean, honestly, like, as far as Destro's concerned, I think we hit on most things. I mean, there's a little bit of time, well, as long as you guys want, for Demonology and Affliction. Is there anything else you want to hit on for Destro stuff? Like, thoughts or, yeah, either y'all? I mean, if there's none, totally cool.
I think the big thing, if I kind of had to like sum up a concern for Destruction, is when I open up the talent tree, it feels a lot less inspired than I hope it would. And I'm looking at all of the gray on the right side of my screen when I'm seeing the talent setup I'm playing. Basically, if you're not playing Hellcaller AoE, you're never ever touching any of those. Even then, it's like, do I even bother picking up Raging Demon Fire? Like, what does it do for me? Does CDF do anything? Does Demon Fire do anything? Yeah, it felt like that stuff maybe sometimes occasionally had some merit when it was in the middle of the tree and you had the path down to something. You go, oh, this is actually an interesting thing to pick up on the way. Or you had the Aberus set bonus, where I think that revolved around CDF, and you get extra procs and you got a damage buff and everything. Kind of ended up getting just completely overrun by Demonology being super strong and Affliction being super strong.
Right.
But I think it's a mechanic that's cool to have in the Destruction arsenal, but it just does not see any play right now. And then when you're not picking up Cataclysm, or at least very rarely picking up Cataclysm now, and you're not picking up that thing unless you're playing specifically Hellcaller AoE for Mythic Plus. That being said, I think the new version of Roaring Blaze is a great way to take a talent name. It used to be, I think it's gone from being maybe one of the most disliked talents when it was introduced in Legion, where it was you had to do the back-to-back immolates and then be on, because this was in you had the set bonus from Nighthold. They gave you an extra configuration stack, and you would then juice up this one immolate and then let it tip down completely. So it would accumulate the extra damage on the immolate. And that's kind of the first version of Roaring Blaze, people. I think I have a video of me playing. I played Empowered Life Tap and Roaring Blaze on Star Augur, and it's such a horrible setup to play. I think that's actually when me and XERWO started talking first, because I think we were like two of the only people playing Warlocks on that fight on like the level we were, because that's when you played in Set Sail back then.
I think we were also the only ones with like Destruction Legendaries or something.
Because I played it with the ring. I played it with Cephus and the Rain of Fire ring. I didn't have any working anything, and I needed someone that could like relate to my situation, someone to and I think I added XERWO. I need some fucking
what did he have,
this, man, because this is beyond me. I go, oh, we're doing the same thing.
Hands up, I had first legendary was the belt, guys. Like that was the best belt back then. And then I forgot to change my loot spec in a Court of Stars from Demonology away. And
pull the bracers, guys. Yeah, he found it. Pull the bracers.
It is what it is, guys. Like I can't do it. I would have liked the destruction bracers, though. I never had those.
That's the first I went in. I went in Iowa Shara +2. I remember this very distinctly. I was the last person in my guild to get this legendary. And I was the only Warlock. I played in Danish terrace at the time. I think I was the only Warlock in the guild at all, because Warlocks were horse shit back then. We were so bad compared to it. It was so bad. And I got the destruction bracers, and all of a sudden I became this fucking cleave machine. I like took over scenarios, absolutely destroyed that boss so hard. I did so much damage, but we killed Star Augur, and then we went up to do Elisand, and we're like, okay, end of the week we gotta go clear Trial of Valor. We kill Odin, and I loot the belt, and I'm like, okay, we're set for Elisand proc now.
Back.
Like
we're
so back. But I just killed. To get back to it, the setup being life tap. So you had the life tap every 20 seconds to get like a 10% intellect buff, and then Roaring Blaze, where you had to stack up save all your configuration stacks to then juice up this big immolate here. I think this version now, which is the only thing it kind of took is that it has something to do with conflagrate and it's got the name. I think this is just a super great talent to introduce. But it also kind of removes the need for Cataclysm basically ever. There's very, very, very little need for Cataclysm now. Also, with it being, I don't know the range of it, but it feels like the range is very similar. I think Cataclysm is 8 yards. Feels like Roaring Blaze is 8 to 10 yards as well. There's like no room for it ever. I think the only time where kind of needed like Cataclysm is if you want to pick up Lake of Fire and you want to try and squeeze out some extra damage after a mass grip on Velgor and Esrek. But apart from that, it's whatever. And then I also go on.
No, I just wanted to say that the main issue also with Cataclysm is that you're not pathing automatically through it anymore, right? Like,
it was like way off to the side.
Yeah, exactly. Last expansion, you were forced to take it, basically. And so you were always playing it. But now, especially with Roaring Blaze, you just have no need, really.
Right.
Yeah. You can.
And then I don't know how I feel about these mastery talents being in the trees so early. I think it's like a weird thing, right? Where if anything, you maybe wanna like go out of, but when wouldn't you just pick up Backlash then and go for like an extra critical strike thing, which just the way destruction works, that's basically what you always want to do. I think that the only situation where you need to pick up that one is if you don't want the improved conflag, and you for some reason you're playing destruction without improved havoc or just havoc at all, which is just a super weird setup as well. I don't know. It feels like it's put there to be like, okay, this is a thing you can use to path down, and it maybe doesn't feel as bad as a improved conflag, which is
Sure.
just a horribly dead, useless talent if you're playing correctly. Super unnecessary. Yeah.
Fair.
It would be really good with
it
the
just
old
feels like a
workplace.
filler. Yeah, it just feels like a filler to put more points above the first gate, right, or something.
Yeah. No, it the only purpose that talent serves is you can put this here if you don't want to play havoc. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
Because you need to go through Rain of Fire, like, which is also just an unnecessary thing to be a talent. Whatever. Because you need to go at that point. It's like, okay, there's I've already, if I path down the first 5 points, I've already put in 2 things that I'm not super excited about.
Right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's the same thing with Affliction, where you have to path through Seed of Corruption. Yeah, like, why is it not just baseline? Like, I don't know.
I agree with that. Like,
that's actually a fun way to say it, because I remember Malakath sent me like a whole dissertation on the problem with Seed of Corruption when I asked him a question, and apparently there was a point where Seed of Corruption was a better single target spender than Unstable Affliction was, and this was like not even by like a little bit, where we did the destruction. You need to Rain of Fire single target, and early the War Within, and it's like, oh, it's slightly better because of this interaction here. But it was just that Unstable Affliction was so left in the dark after being super nerfed post Mana Forge, or during Mana Forge. It feels super weird that those things make it so far in development, and then has to get saved on the finish line. And then when it gets saved, it's like, yeah, but when do we then go what feels like a good point to opt for a Unstable Affliction rather than a Seed of Corruption? And feels like 2 targets doesn't really feel that good, in my opinion. I think like a 3-4 target thing is healthier, but then I don't know, it feels like Affliction needs some help.
Especially when one of the talents, Solve the Seeds, adds 2 additional targets being hit, right? So why do you then press it on 2 targets instead of 3? Like,
and it's
I agree.
It's not even close. Like, it's just so much better. And then you get the extra damage from one to another, and as soon as there's like an extra cleave in, and it I don't know. And it's also it's not like an interesting button to press either. Seed of Corruption. It feels super like, if anyone played
I like
TBC or TBC Classic
I like
as well.
well.
No, but I think it's such an, I don't know, man. I don't think it's that cool. I liked where you had to think about where do I want to deposit my Unstable Affliction. I was never a big fan of Unstable Affliction being the spender, and I'm probably in the minority there. I'm not saying Malefic Rapture was better at all, but I'm saying I liked it when the dots themselves did the damage, and then you had to use your soul shards to manage those dots.
I think that's the thing right now too.
That's showing your age, bro. Actually, yeah. Like, God of here. I mean, I'm the same. Yeah, I also like an MOP. Or even what our dots were the main damage, basically.
What was the healthy version of it? Like, MOP had the whole...
The MOP was snapshotting, yeah, of course.
Snapshotting, maybe that's not too good, where it's like, if you're playing the spec and you're just, you're coming home from work, you're locking on to playing the spec, you'll quest and do whatever. But then the teenager who, just came home from school and he's super into doing high DPS, he absolutely does. Again, 800% more damage just because he has these add-ons that scream at him and click this button now and then swap around. But I think when I look back on
get tricks at the right time.
Yeah, when I look back on some of the kills of stuff in Warlords of Draenor, where you had to really think about, do I want to commit to a soul burn, soul swap here? Do I want to invest these shots? I have to play through my soul burn haunt uptime as well. I think that was just a super cool way to play Affliction.
I agree.
But then you go into having to spend on and then spend with Unstable Affliction and extend that spending with Unstable Affliction. And I think like a super unhealthy part of that as well. I remember the where you set bonus in, or was it Antorus, where you could like refresh the duration of your Unstable Afflictions, and then you could essentially have the
that was actually the tomb bonus, no?
Maybe
I
it
think.
was. I don't know.
I think it was.
I just remember I had
I think.
It might have been, but I think you
the
played
tomb bonus, and you would
2-2.
play Siphon
Yeah,
Light.
you played
2-4.
2-piece
With double legendary. You had like one slot available besides that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You play new 2-piece, old 4-piece. That was, I think.
Yeah. But I just, the only reason I remember it is because I had one pull on Argus before I had to go mage because I had to immune stuff there. But I played one pull on Argus where I did the most damage I've ever done in like an opener. And I had my whole little hot thing, and I made like a gif of it, and my every single drain tick, my Unstable Afflictions would just refresh, and I'd be shot capped, but I'd be like, okay, but I can't just overwrite these. And I don't know. It feels so weird that it wasn't just my dots did damage, and then I could manage them with my shards, and my shards is like a resource, but it's not dependent on my yeah.
You're pretty saying. I think a decent bit of it now is like you can cast past 5 UAs, but like they removed extension from Dark Lair and Dark Harvest. But I feel like our dots, like they don't matter a whole lot. Even when it comes to like Soul Harvest or Seed Spam in AoE, like you can apply 2 agonies when the pack is being pulled, like through shared agony for like 4, and just seed till it dies. If it lives for a minute, you still have shards coming in from Dark Harvest or just Nocturnal Yield procs, whatever. Like you don't even need to reapply agonies. You don't got to maintain them. You just do it to round the pack up, and then you're just throwing seeds. Like Hellcaller is a little different, but it's not like you don't need to like maintain dots. Like it's very odd. I think that's where a lot of like the disconnect with seed playstyle comes from a bit. But yeah, I don't know.
I actually think that this version of Affliction right now is super good. I think it is really good, and I think it's probably one of the ones that I had the most fun playing. I like leveled all my Warlocks on Affliction, and I did all my open world content the first 2 weeks as Affliction, and it's just so cool, the open world part where you do the double agony, you're attacking everything, and you just put yourself in the middle, you press Dark Harvest, and you just like kill everything around you. It feels so Affliction-y. It feels
and
so
yourself
cool.
by doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually so cool. I think that's super great. But then you pull it into a raid, and you're like, okay, but now I need to press this Unstable Affliction spender, and I just know it does fuck all. And that's a horrible, horrible feeling. I tried to play it on the raid test recently as well, and it's like, oh, I wish it did more damage.
It does some AoE.
Yeah, it does AoE, but
it'll do AoE or single target.
Boss damage a little bit lacking, yeah.
Boss damage might be lacking a little bit, and
because the tree is split.
Might also try to argue that they're doing the same rotation but they're just getting the AoE in, and Demologs might also be doing the AoE a little better, and
yeah.
I think I would love to play a raid tier with like a good version of Affliction, which I think this is a good version. I think it's definitely about time that Affliction gets some time in the sun again.
Right.
I did play it on one fight, I guess. It's as good as it gets usually.
Oh, seed spam, yeah.
Yeah, seed spam on dragons.
That's fair.
I think we didn't know. I had that vibe check with our tanks and be like, so do you get mad if I say seed isn't cleaving if they're tanking them like too far away from each other? And they're like, don't fucking say anything. I'm like, okay, I'll just
do half my damage.
It's a 5-pull boss anyways. Like, I guess I will. Yeah. So that added the extra RNG, I guess, to it. But
that's fair.
I think a lot of people expected that to be like a strict destruction fight, and I've played destruction and demo and stuff on it. I think demo is like the top performer on it now, but I think it's kind of cool to have one boss where on testing, I don't know about you guys, but on testing, we're like, okay, this is like a fucking Boomkin boss. Like Boomkin is gonna be super cool on this, all these spread ads and I don't know.
I think we were playing 6 Blood Decays, if I remember correctly, and just mass group every wave basically. Yeah, so we're like, we have to deal with this somehow, and then they also jump to like the closest like point of everybody. Like if you're in a circle, they jump into the middle of the circle, for example, or something. I don't know, some weird stuff, and we cooked with that. So we didn't think it was like a boom boss or anything, but I mean, if they wouldn't be able to be manipulated in this way, then it's better Cleave would go
No,
in for
but yeah,
sure.
but we were just looking
Yeah.
at it and thinking like, okay, so it's likely this is gonna be very hard to control also because we need to think
Yeah.
in terms of we cannot stack as much as you guys do,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah, of
we
course not.
cannot
Oh,
we
Yeah.
cannot go in, do the sticks, fucking spawn out 3 boomkins out of thin air from one raid to another and just have people stay up and like gear this shit. And we're like, okay, but Yargi's gotta go do some stuff on his boomkin, and then maybe we can we replace one boomkin with a warlock, and can we try and like problem solve that a little bit? So then it's like, okay, how can we do this? And we had our boomy just do like really good damage. Okay, well maybe play like 3 boomies on this, and that might actually bring the the mob HP down enough that the Yats will die before we die, and then they nuke boomy, and yeah, that never ended up being
The
realistic.
sticks was brutal as well because the boy spawn could just mess you up, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
if the boomkin gets the boy in the SCDs or whatever, it's over.
yeah.
Fair.
But then again, we kind of had the we assumed that the boss was gonna be more than that. Maybe it was gonna be like a sticks level boss, where you were you're pushing like 50 plus pulls at least on it, just in terms of like output and managing mechanics properly. And
I don't think anybody expected this to be 5 pulls.
Yeah, I mean 50 pulls wasn't even the most, or I don't even think a single boss went to 50 pulls in that raid. So
yeah,
a little disappointing.
Well, I think Paladins did a little bit, but I think
true. Paladins was, I think, barely.
But yeah, barely, yeah. I mean, that's a weird fight either way.
Like Paladins is like a good example of where you basically like beta tested the boss for us, and then we ended up going, okay, what can we do? We brought in a rogue, and then we brought in a 6th healer, and we had a resto shaman because we needed the shaman buff, and elemental did absolute dog shit damage on this boss. And I think we swapped out the rogue because we were lacking a little bit of damage, but we did the 6 heal on it, and it was a lot easier for us than. And we had to optimize damage like a little bit, but we also, again, back to the weekend spawn as many hunters. So we had to go 3 warlocks on that fight, and then only have 3
I mean,
or 4
warlock wasn't
hunters.
too bad, to be honest.
No, but it wasn't a hunter.
But also, I think
that's true.
We went 6 heal. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we went 1 more healer than you guys did, at least. I don't recall if it was 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think we went 5 heal because we had also 3 warlocks to be able to cover the dispels, because it was 8 dispels, right? So
disgusting fight. Do you have any I guess thoughts on F briefly, Zeru, or you just like sort of concur with what we were talking about there a bit?
I concur.
Okay, yeah.
I
think the biggest thing is like left and right side of the tree are just single target and AoE based. You can't get both.
Yeah,
like it needs to be overhauled.
Issue. Yeah.
I guess this last thing. I mean, it's briefly. Any thoughts on demonology from either of y'all? If not, cool. I mean, obviously, it's does everything: single target, stack, cleave, AoE. It's fun. You guys enjoy the Apex talent? Is it something that you think is a bit too micromanagey, or it's fine?
I think it's great. I think it's a really, really good way of taking something that maybe wasn't good for the spec, thinking like Nether Portal. And I think the whole idea of during your cooldowns, it's in the essence of demonology to be summoning extra demons. Like that is what demonology should do, and it feels like that is what demonology is doing now. I think the way it was handled could maybe be, I don't want to say like critiqued on, but it feels like it could have gotten a better introduction to this first season, because I think everybody with a DPS meter and a calculator could see that they were gonna be nerfing demonology.
Oh, okay.
Looking at like the first version of this on the live, where you play and you're basically just praying for like big soul swipes, and you want to get the most inquisitors or whatever,
jailers or whatever they were. I don't even know which one.
There's the big guy. And then you have the opener every once in a while. You see like a sister on each side, and you just don't even want to look at the DPS meter, because all of a sudden people are wondering, why is this one Demolock doing fuck on my and I think it also left people thinking, this is really scary, because it's this one thing, this one little like thing down in the corner that is causing the problem, right? Being the Apex talent, and within the Apex talent is like 20% of the Apex talent that's causing the problem as well, with it being like too much damage from the one of the 4 demons it summons, and then the soul swipe, maybe that's doing like a little bit too much. But it's really scary if what they do is they just take the whole thing and they go, oh, we're gonna Ian Hosacosta's nerf. We don't want you to play Demonology. We're nerfing you by 25%.
Famous quote.
Yeah. Is that another throwback to being an old person playing the game or playing Warlock as well?
It is. It dictates your age, bro. It is what it is. We embrace it.
Yeah. But
That's
I think
good.
it's actually really scary. Sitting there thinking,
Yeah.
but what if they nerf across the board? What if they don't look into exactly what's going wrong? What if this is like another Affliction Maniforge situation where you don't look at the old set bonus and you tune around this thing.
Right.
Instead, you go, oh, well, Demonology is overperforming. We're gonna, look at is this one damage source you're nerfed. But then it ended up being a much healthier version that came live, and I think there's even a couple of bosses where people play also play Soul Harvester now, like some single target stuff where Soul Harvester.
I think it's Voracious only. If
it
I
might be
remember.
Voracious only, yeah. I think it's something
but
with
also
the demons
actually
not
on
hitting the
Voracious
boss.
they are bugged as well,
Yeah, the bugs are terrible, but like you have to be meleeed for the pets to hit the boss. Right.
But I think I think Demonology in this version right now is some of the most fun Demonology I've played. I like the Apex talent. I like the way Diabolist ties into it. I especially like the way Diabolist works with the Apex talent, where if you time it correctly, you can actually use the extra, like the Infernal Bolt, or you can the Ruination counts as a Hand of Gul'dan cast during that.
Thank
as well.
God,
so you can actually use that as like a one-shot generator, and I feel like that's such a great thing that has not been overlooked, because I think that has like all the potential to then be overlooked and go, okay, but now it feels really bad to place Ruination while you're in your Dominion of Argus window. But thankfully that's not the case. So overall I'm super happy with the way Demonology is right now, and the depth of Diabolist and the simplicity of Soul Harvester, and I think all around is just super good spec right now.
I agree. I do agree, yeah.
Okay.
There is a lot of bugs, though, I think, with like the Faker talents applying while not even being talented.
I think
10% damage reduction working on yourself instead of your demon, for example. I don't know if people actually knew
they
that
fixed the Felguard talents. I think Brutality's still bugged. There's some like bug no one talks about with Helen back with funnel damage. Unless they got fixed, I don't think it did. And then there's I think there's probably some other ones I don't really have in mind or recall, but
if you need to get updated on those, you could go in baby's go in Metro's Twitch, and you can be damn sure he's cranking out all those things, man. There's a command for everything in there.
I do wish they fixed the bugs in Voracious, but yeah, go ahead, Zero.
Yeah, I'm very sad about Summon Doomguard a little bit, like the 2-minute cooldown. Like I feel like it should have been still the set bonus from what was it last year in Dragonflight, right? We had the set bonus. Like if it was that, it would kind of be cooler, I guess. Like just a chance on Doom expiration instead of it being a cooldown that gets reduced.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's
I'm not even
like
sure. Are people playing this talent even right now in any content?
Not really. They weren't really plus. It's all just like Vile or like Charhound stuff at this point. Very few Doom play. Yeah,
it's a bit sad, I think.
Yeah,
and I
fair.
especially super much because I think the play style of that is just like an okay way to add like a little bit of extra if you wanna at least optimize. You be aware of your dooms on the targets, and then just doom around, and I think it's like a very simple thing, but it just feels good when you then see, oh yeah, Doom disappeared and that guy spawned next to me, and you know this is like a little bit of extra damage. I'm being rewarded for going the extra mile just a little bit, and it's not like a big annoying thing that you have to really like snap anything or to. I think it's a big shame.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then I don't even like the choice node in the middle right now is a little confusing to me.
Implosion and Siphon.
Implosion, Power Siphon. I think it's implosioning on single target, in my opinion. Like I don't know when a developer of a class would want that to be the case.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It feels a little weird. I'm very glad that they decided to look at the earlier versions of Implosion, where I think it was it a 30-second cooldown first.
Yeah.
It was.
Which is, I
Too
mean,
much.
that feels like such an overcompensation from going where I remember Not wrote like an entire week or a thing when Implosion first became a thing in was this Legion? I think Implosion became a thing.
I think so,
Or
yeah.
maybe it was Warlords. I don't know. But regardless, he wrote this whole thing where it's like there are so many parameters that goes into this where you decide, do I want to Implosion? And then you have to look at the old imps you have, they're almost dead, and the new imps and everything. And
Yeah.
and you would have this week or a time, and all of a sudden it go green, and you had to
I remember that.
Implosion at that time. Yeah. And it was this thing where I was like, if I just play the game, and I do think actually this is the version of Demonology where they might have gone in and done a big nerf, but maybe that's later. Early. But if you're ever in a situation where it doesn't like make sense when you should press the button, when it's at least like a viable button to press, that it's not gonna be like a huge loss, or maybe
Right.
you wanna just get rid of your imps now and get some core stacks. I don't know.
That's fair.
But I also think that Power Siphon is a great spell to cast on the move.
I think it's like a tiny bit better than Implosion, like pure single target. I think, but like you don't encounter Patchwork Fights this tier.
I hope so.
It's like almost the same, but like there's no Patchwork Fights this tier, and like plus Implosion gives a bit more like I guess core. I guess I get 2 from Siphon. It's hard to say. They're both very close, but I agree with what you're saying though. Yeah, like I think there should be more separation between the two. Like maybe you just end up nerfing to Hellenback via Implosion or something like that, or maybe it's just the same.
And there's actually one more little thing that I think is like one of the biggest quality things for Demonology that also isn't really being talked about, and it's the Fell Armaments addition to your Tyrant.
Oh,
I think everybody is kind of had a Tyrant.
Oh, and Tor in the Cleave, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the everyone's kind of had a Tyrant that's like standing on a different level on like a ledge or something, and then it can't find a path directly, and it's just AFK. And then this one now is just charging in there, and I think especially PvPers really think that this is like a big. I hope it works like that in PvP as well, where it just charges in and it actually does something rather than it being lined, or a mob is being moved a little bit, and then all of a sudden he has to stop his cast and he runs and. I don't know. I think it's just a really cool talent and a good talent, and it also adds that Demonic Tyrant itself just does good cleave damage, and I think
he's got armor on. He looks sick. Yeah, you know.
He looks super sick now.
Looks like a blaster.
Yeah, well, yeah. I agree.
Very true.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much agree. I wish like baseline pets like Thugard and maybe Dreadstalkers a bit more of our damage compared to like Apex a bit, but at the same time, I think it's fine. I think it's cool. I do really wish we had the Eyes of Gul'dan you had during beta that shot the red beams at the target back. It was there for like 2 weeks. A talent, and they removed it. Those were so sick. Like the coolest ability ever. They and they deleted them again. Like bring it back, but sadly. Yeah. Any guess any closing thoughts, ZERWO or LOOZY? You guys feeling good? Or?
Thoughts I only have about Destruction, really, because I think I forgot to mention that what Destruction made so great in the past. Oh, my age is showing again, guys. MOP, you know what? You had like active decisions that influenced your damage a lot, and like through talents, like through Fire and Brimstone, Shadow Remains, all the good stuff. And now it feels like more you pick passive talents and then you just press your buttons, kinda. You know, like so I wish there would be some more active decision making aside from what target I Havoc, for example, to influence my damage more. And that's my closing thought on Destruction, at least, that they did this better in the past. A little bit lacking now. I think it's okay, but it could be better.
Okay, yeah. LOOZY.
Yeah, I think there's maybe not like a whole lot of depth to it right now, where before there's at least been like some kind of buff management. It feels like you went away from juggling. Like I'm just thinking like last phase of Gallywix on Destruction, where you've had this whole fight where you've been playing on all these targets, and all of a sudden it's just one target and a little bit of movement, which really opens up, you know, the spec that now you can see every little nuance of you're spec into like a bit of cleave, but now you're stuck playing this single target situation, and you really feel like I need to then at least optimize my eradication, I need to optimize my roaring blaze, I need to manage my shots, I need to manage my movement, I need to manage my just all my resources, my cooldowns, and pool everything together. And it feels like
Sure.
this now is just where you take Roaring Blaze, you give it an effect rather than a buff. You take Eradication and you introduce like a different, just like a single target. Now we're adding an extra little bit of single target damage onto to something here.
Yeah.
It feels
Very
like
passive, I guess.
you
like-
can
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can pretty much just go through everything, and the only thing that changes the way you play is like 3 talents in the tree, and that's just whether or not you have them. And most of them
That's
you
fair.
don't, or some of them you don't even play, right? Talking about like CDF and Cataclysm, right?
Right.
It feels like there's very little change in terms of what you play, and even then it has the potential to be even less later down the road, right? If you're looking into Dimensional Rift and opting for that rather than getting the extra Soulfire button. It's just I super agree with what was said there.
So TLDR, bring back toggleable Fire and Brimstone and Charter mains. Got it.
It just
I
bring
agree.
back some active decisions that are not
Yeah.
like maybe not Roaring Blaze and Eradication. It's fine that they're gone.
Yeah.
But something, I don't know. Maybe even active Dimensional Rift or something. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
I think Fire and Brimstone toggleable just made so much sense.
I mean, yeah, that would be perfect.
It made
That's the
so
dream.
much sense. It was a thing where if you didn't know what you were doing, you toggled it on, you would just drain all your shots and it would be horrible for you. But it was also a thing where if you knew, okay, I need to toggle it on, I can generate some stuff now, or I can at least maintain and cleave, and then do I go for
Right.
the immolator, do I not? And you kind of had to know a little bit of, or at least you could like very quickly get a feel for, did I do the correct thing, or did I, do I need to correct this rotational thing for myself? It was like an intuitive way of playing, and I think it was very healthy for the spec, at least, rather than now decisions come down to do I go for Chaos Bolts or Shadow Burns under these parameters in the
Right.
space of a boss. Like that's the decision making you have to do, and you're never gonna get to the answer of that on your own. That's like you need to ask someone, or you need to have the math done, or you need to figure out that information from somewhere else.
Yeah, it's fair. I think back to like Rift, like the version you could hit with like the button, the charges of Rift, and Space Time Legendary, which is a talent like in Dragonflight early on in beta. Where you had like the windows of like open a Rift, more damage. Do you want to hold Rifts? Do you want to just pop on CD? What do you want to do? Like that was cool. A bit of extra like depth for rotational complexity. But now it's just a passive. It doesn't do anything. Sad day.
True.
Yeah. It feels super weird that that's a passive.
I agree, but it doesn't really exist, so it's fine. We just ignore it. So,
Or no, maybe they increase proc chance at some point, and then
maybe they just make the next
one button
set
rotation
bonus
comes
about
around, guys. It's inevitable.
I would not be surprised if we get like a set bonus that revolves around like strictly passive talent. No.
I hope Destro and AF both get like some substantial changes like in 12.1. Like I think AF's like left right tree needs help, and these captains need help. But yeah.
I think if anything, AF probably just needs a tuning thing.
AF tier. I mean, the single target's good right now. It seems close to Demonology, I think, and like pure single target, but you don't have pure Patrick fights, and you need cleave elements.
Go play Affliction.
Also, the gearing is kind of crazy for Affliction compared to Demo and Destruction, right? Because you want like no mastery, you want like full crit haste, basically.
I think Verse was high early on too, for some reason. Yeah,
Verse as well a little bit, yeah. But you want 0 mastery almost, I think, in this gear. When I looked at it,
pretty wild.
Like, so like different against like Demo and Destruction, basically. So you need to gear properly for it to make it pop, I guess. Yeah.
We prep ahead of time for next year. It's gonna be an F tier, right?
So. Yeah, good. All crit haste gears. Log in.
There we go.
Just craft every slot, whatever.
I mean, I've gotta play the game to get sparks for that, but eventually. Cool. Well, I mean, I log back in the D4.
I'm so behind on like crests and upgrades on trinkets and weapons and stuff right now. It's horrible.
Crest cap's gone. Log in, brother. Catch up.
Yeah, guys, I'm done with 9 characters.
Dude, I'll keep it 100 with you, man. The crest cap was not holding me back.
Me either. Well, it was a little bit. Not really.
Thank God they lifted.
Yeah. I feel that. Well, hey, it's 4 fall in a few weeks, right? Something like that. So, or it might have gotten pushed back. Who knows? So, we'll find out soon. I think they moved Timeways like back 2 weeks or something. I think I read about it somewhere. I think it was like June.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, but I thought that would only affect the 2.1.
Maybe I
Right.
don't know. Maybe that's
But
it.
maybe actually true. Timeways would start with the 0.7 patch. Yeah, you're maybe right. Yeah, could be. We'll see.
Well,
Maybe they pushed it back because of NDI as well or something. Who
oh,
knows?
it could
I
be
just wanna
actually.
know
Maybe.
when the D4 season is out, man. That's the big one. That's the big question for a lot of people right now, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I bet it might actually be MDI. I'm pretty sure MDI finals is like not like next weekend, but the weekend after. I think that was supposed to be like the release of the patch.
Like
quickly,
if I look in our attendance sheet, I see half my gate is red, so we're not waiting for the like next 3 weeks or something. Yeah. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. So I think releasing a new raid in that space, not good for me.
There we
I
go.
want to raid, but I can't.
Just plug it. It's fine. You'll be good.
Yeah, true.
Come to US.
We've got. I think we've got
Idiot.
3 splits going a week. So just
Yeah, join up with him. There you go.
Oh, why not?
Cool. Well, honestly, I appreciate you guys taking the time. This was a long one, but a good one. Yeah, thanks for taking time out of your day to meet up and stuff. And yeah, I mean, where can people find you again, guys? LOOZY and Mr. XERWO.
LOOZY can go ahead.
Yeah, LOOZY first.
Okay, I stream over on Twitch every time new content comes out. I try to stream some farm stuff as well. I don't stream an awful lot these weeks right now, but I want to get back to it as well. But new guilds, new everything. Yeah.
There we go.
And then I've made a few videos over on YouTube, and I tend to post some shit on Twitter as well. And everything is just LOOZY WoW.
Perfect. Cool.
This tier was really good in terms of like Twitter content.
Hell yeah.
That had
Always.
W. Zeria.
Yeah, and me, you can find me everywhere under XERWO, basically on Twitch. I mean, I do stream the race. I do stream also some farm raids. Sometimes I have too much officer work, guys. I apologize. Can't stream too much, but I try. And then, yeah, on Twitter, you can find some memes. You know, for example, right now, the Internet Explorer from another website. It just posted about some Dawn upgrades, Dawn Quest upgrades, you know all this.
There we go.
Otherwise, maybe a YouTube video once a year. Who knows? But yeah.
That works.
About it, guys.
I'll link y'all stuff down below in the description, too. People can be sure to check y'all out. So, yeah, I appreciate it again, guys. Thanks for the talk. And, yeah. GN.